Is that good? Last Friday was the first annual Parking Day in Philadelphia. It's a global event. It started 4 years ago in San Francisco by a group called Rebar. They're a bunch of artists and activists, and they wanted to make aware the public of the need for green space in the cities. So they decided to take over metered parking spots and create parks. So that's exactly what we did on Friday. It was co-sponsored by the Trust for Public Land. If you want to go see a list this long of press releases about the national and international events, tpl.org would be it. So it was sponsored by them, and the co-sponsors here were the American Institute of Architects Urban Design Committee, which is how I got into it. Where's my pictures? They don't want to hear me talk. They want to see the pictures. It was, in this city, it was mostly started by, okay, that's fine, architects and landscape architects. With participation from others. We started with meetings and sketches and all. Lots of funny things were going on that day last Friday. Up on 20th and Arch, the Pennsylvania Horticultural Society was having staff meetings in a parking spot covered with sod. In New York, HR&A associates were doing job interviews out in the street. In Tucson, there was a group that was doing an experiment on heat island effect, and they discovered that it was 138 degrees on the hood of a car and 122 degrees on the street. I grew up in Arizona, so I don't think that's a big deal, but that was interesting. The one that just passed was the City Planning Commission had a group. That was all the stormwater, those little cups that would be absorbed if that weren't asphalt. The City of Philadelphia Recycling Office had a spot. Lots of landscape architects, again, and the Pennsylvania Horticultural Society was a huge supporter, and they had a spot that was very, very inspiring. Was anybody here, can I just take a break and say, was anybody here on a parking day team? Where are you all? Did anybody here see one of the spots? That's great. That's fantastic. The Parking Authority was a huge supporter, believe it or not, of our endeavors. People were playing checkers and lounging about. This is checkers with hubcaps and shoes. This is Andrew Pogan, Landscape Architects in Manayunk. You put your little tags on there and it turned into me pictures. Paradise, that's my key slide because we're going to have a little commercial break here. The commercial break is, you saw the slides up there. If anybody in this room isn't registered to vote, go and do it. Get my number from Jeff. I will come to your house. I will bring you a form. Register to vote and go out to do it. That's the commercial break. So I should know what my timing was from that slide, but I can't remember. What does it take to get something like this to happen? Because I know this room is full of movers and shakers and people who make things happen. This one started with an idea, and it was kind of an obscure idea, sort of a pun. You know, you park your car, you park yourself, parking, park. It was kind of hard to explain to people, but it took off from there. Then you need a person, and Pam Zimmerman, I was the co-chair, but I was like the 1%, and she was the 99%. You need a person who can gather people right in the beginning. Jeff came in right in the beginning and helped us with tech support and getting things together. You need somebody who will just energize the thing and send the countless emails and get people together. Beyond that, you need an idea for something like this that can be both fun and idealistic. And I don't think everything lends itself to that. I'm not sure the war and poverty lend itself to that. I think urban green space, it really could. And there were some very, very fun things. I think at the end of the day, it was a terrifically moving event, more so than I ever imagined, because of the connections amongst people. My office made a space that had 5 rocking chairs in it. We just sat out there, and my business partners belongs to a needle arts group, and the ladies came and knit, and one person actually brought her knitting project, said, no, you have to tear that. They ripped it apart, and they started it over for it. And at one point, a young guy named David from Penn came along, and he just walked right into the spot. He sat down on a rocking chair, and he just started to chat, and that's exactly what was supposed to happen. He started to chat. 5 minutes later, he was on his way, and that was the end of it. So I think that the lesson from, that's David, there he is. I think the lesson from this is that green space is very, very important in the city. There's tons of stuff going on here that nobody could have imagined. Somebody in city government just said to me something like, it's like when you walk into the flower show in the middle of the winter and the lights go on and it smells fabulous. That's how they felt about the Nutter administration. There's things happening. Green Plan Philadelphia is going ahead. Things that you could not have dreamed of a couple of years ago. So it's happening in Philadelphia. So partly it's about the physical city, and partly it's about the real need to take care of some very serious problems like global warming. The other half of it is, though, those are the places, those green places, those little parks, that's the Horticultural Society. They allow people to connect, and that's the important thing, and that's what I think we found that day, that people have the urge to talk to one another, to be together on the street, and they just need a little nudge, and that's what the day did. So, thank you. Come next year.